Hi everyone, I'm Atul and welcome to the session of Product Management Learning Path for Beginners. In this session, we'll try and understand what is the role of product managers, uh, who are suited to make a transition into the product management field, and we'll also try and understand the learning path for a PM. We'll go through the entire life cycle of a product from ideation to go to market. We'll understand where is it that the role of a PM comes in and what are the necessary skills required by a product manager. At the end of the session, I'm also going to throw in certain kind of resources, some free blogs, courses, etc., which will help you to garner a better understanding of the role and whether you should try and delve into this area or not. So yeah, let's get on with the session. So a bit of introduction about myself. I'm Atul. I'm working as a product manager in ICICI Bank as of now. Before this, I was working in growth and strategy at Tata Metallics. I've been in that role for 3.5 years. Then I transitioned into the product management role, and I've done my MBA from an Institute of Foreign Trade. So yeah, moving on. What is product management, or who is a product manager? Now this might differ from organization to organization, industry to industry, or how a company defines product manager as a role. But if you ask me, in a nutshell, product manager is someone who stands at the intersection of the design, technology, and business team and gets things done. So now, how does a product manager gets things done? Is that he identifies the opportunities and the business strategy and execution of the company, and more than anything, he identifies his customers and the requirements of the customers, and based on the requirements he enables the opportunities. Now these opportunities are prioritized based on what is important and what is not. One important thing that as a product manager you'll be doing is saying no to other teams. Now, based on this enablement of opportunities and prioritizing the opportunities, you are the one who needs to get these features developed and delivered. And this is wherein your soft skills come in of negotiating and sort of interacting with other teams and expressing yourself as in what are your requirements as a product manager, what are your timelines, and based on that you'll go on and deliver these product features. So essentially, in a nutshell, this is the role of a product manager. So yeah, moving on, transitioning into a PM role. Now we now talk about what are the various backgrounds that help in transitioning into a product manager role. Now, if you talk conceptually, product managers ideally should be the one who should do whatever it takes to ship a product that customers will love and that achieves business goals. But because of the various industries that these PMs are working in, because of the nature of the responsibilities that product managers take up, this transition comes from a particular background or particular subset. Now, if you talk about product based companies, or if you talk about service companies, wherein a lot of deliverables include uh, you know delivering a particular product feature, or interacting with the developers day in and day out, understanding their hiccups, understanding their problems. So in these companies, a lot of product managers you'll see transition from an engineering role, because these are the product managers who would understand their developers, who would understand the people that they are interacting with continuously day in and day out. They'll understand their problems and it can be solved. So a lot of these companies take in or transition the product managers from an engineering role. So probably if you are a computer science graduate or say an engineering graduate, it will be better for you to target these companies. Now there are other set of companies as well who are richly dependent on the UI UX. So essentially, one example pops up into my mind is that of gaming companies. So or say the Airbnbs. So these companies rely a lot on the UI UX. They stress on the validation of ideas. They stress on the good customer experience. So often we see a lot of product managers in these companies transition from a design background role, wherein they can help to validate the ideas in a better manner, or wherein they can help to provide customers with a better UI UX experience. So that is also one set of companies that probably a design based background person can target. Also, a lot other companies want their product managers to have a mix of skills that make them unique. So these are the MBAs that are coming up in these companies. They are able to scale your product, and they are often one who understand the product market fit. So a lot of companies, that is why I hire people who have an MBA from a good institute. So that is also one background of the product managers. Also, if you are in an industry since a long time, say 5 6 years, and you have a conceptually good understanding of the in and outs of the company, the in and outs of the industry, the strategic steps that are taken by your company. So a good transition for you uh, would be to move into product manager role and understand how a particular feature is built from a scratch and developed and given to the customer for the overall understanding. You would be able to pitch yourself as someone who understands the industry very well, who understands the pain point of the customers, and hence is able to solve it in a better manner. So yeah, if you have a certain background from industry, design, business, or probably if you have an industry experience, so I think a good transition for you into a product manager role would be possible. So yeah, moving on, what should a product manager know? What is the learning path of a PM, and what are the skills that need to be developed to be a better product manager? Now, unofficially, like I've said, a product manager does whatever it takes to ship a product. But conceptually and a more methodological way to put it is that a product manager should have a complete understanding of the product lifecycle, so that through his skills he is able to contribute in each phase of the product lifecycle, so as to align his product to the strategic vision of the company and is able to deliver great. Now, the product lifecycle starts with the ideation of the product, and then ends at the go-to markets and ends at the go-to market, and is again brought back to the product manager in form of a feedback loop wherein he analyzes the product. Now, ideation of a product is nothing but finding and clearly defining the next opportunity to pursue. As a product manager, you'll probably have n number of opportunities, n number of product ideas that you think would be good for your product. But uh, doing a basic market analysis, identifying what is the strategic vision of the company, and aligning your product to that vision of the company would be a great way to move ahead in the ideation phase. So for this, good skills to have would be market analysis skills and creating product requirement documents. After you've ideated what is the product that you need to move ahead with, you create a sort of scoping of the entire product in the form of product requirement document, which is passed on to the complete team, so that too they are able to understand what is the need of a particular feature that needs to be inculcated in a product, and how are different teams uh, approaching that feature to give it shape. Now, moving ahead, the second phase of product lifecycle would be the designing phase. In designing phase, you essentially create a mock-up of the feature that you want to see live without actually developing that feature. So skills that come in handy for our PM in this role would be wireframing skills and information architecture skills. Now this can be for a budding PM, these skills can be practiced on free software such as Balsamic or InVision. I have personally created certain prototypes on InVision, and it helps you to analyze your skills and also to create a mock-up very quickly. So these are good skills to be kept in handy for a budding product manager. Now, in the next phase of product life cycle, you come into actually building of the product. So there are different organizations which rely on different software methodologies. This can be an agile model that is used for developing of a product, or a waterfall model. A waterfall model is a more legacy based model, and agile model is a new, more iterative model wherein the needs of the customers are kept at the forefront and the product is iterated again and again based on these needs. In the next section, I've put on certain resources which can be consulted for more in-depth view, but a basic understanding for a beginner PM of these methodologies is good to have, and it gives you a fairer overview of how a product is actually built and brought forward. In the next stage of the product life cycle, we come across uh, marketing of the product. This is the stage wherein we actually put the product forward before the customers. So a few skills that come in handy in this are how are you going to price your product, how are you going to analyze your product vis-a-vis the competitors, what are the pricing that your competitors have done, uh, what is the promotion strategy that will be observed, what is the promotion strategy that will be taken up for promoting the product, how is the product placed within your target segment. So yes, this reading about these strategies would be a good to have skill for a budding product manager. Moving ahead, the next stage would be the analysis of the product. What you actually build the product for in the initial stage comes back to you in this stage. So you are going to analyze the metrics for which you built your product. So it can be based on the phase in which your company is. It can be a growth metric or it can be a revenue metric. So say you've built your product for increasing the number of customers who are logging into your platform. So then you'll be analyzing what are the number of customers that have come into your platform in a particular phase, what is your churn rate, etc. So, basic understanding of these metrics would be good to have in your kitty as a skill, and define analyzing skills, probably working on a few analysis softwares such as SQL, say Python is also in trend, analyzing those softwares through Tableau. These are also a few good to have features, a few good to have skills that you can have for a for growing as a good PM. So yeah. So moving ahead and talking about the resources that should be consulted by a budding and aspirational product manager, there are a lot of books, courses, blogs, videos that are available online which can be referred. Personally, I have put down a certain resources, books, which I found helpful in my journey of transitioning into a PM role. The product book by Product School elaborates the complete understanding of the product manager role. What are the skills that need to be concentrated to become a good product manager? It also details the complete product life cycle. So yes, definitely this can be taken up. And one other another book that I would recommend is Decode and Conquer. It elaborates the interview process for a product manager, and what are the various types of questions asked in tech companies, in man companies, and it helps to develop on your part the analytic a good analytical thinking about the questions that are asked in interviews. uh, you can also take up certain courses and certifications. There's a basic course, Product 101, which is offered by Cole Mercer and Ivan Kimball. It is available on Udemy, the complete guide of product management. It is a basic course which will help you understand the basics of product management and how do you build your profile for transitioning into a PM role. Some of the blogs that I follow is the product growth blog by Aakash Gupta. It keeps you updated on the latest understanding and the latest happening in the product world, about the different approaches of companies, about case studies, etc. There is a blog called ByteByteGo, which is a blog on system design. It'll help you understand the in-depth understanding of how a particular system works. Say, for example, what happens when you swipe a card, swipe your credit card, the various interactions of different APIs. So it helps you develop that analytical approach of identifying the systems and sort of visualizing how a particular system works. Then there are videos of product school and PM school. These are separate channels on YouTube which you can go on and understand and uh, sort of go through these videos for content and better understanding. So yeah, these are the resources that I would recommend for a budding PM to get hold of so that he's able to get a better understanding of the things. So that's it from my side. Thanks for tuning in. Hope this video gave you a good understanding of the product management role and the learning path for beginners in this field. For any comments, it'll be great if you can reach out. And thank you.